3, 2, 1. Happy New Year!
Oh my gosh.
New Year, Chris.
Happy New Year, Dena. Oh my gosh, what a year. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Season 2 of House and Home Chat Real Estate Real Talk with Dena and Chris. I'm Chris Breitenbach.
And I'm Dena Mathis. And boy, if you guys are watching us on YouTube today, what a treat for you. I just had to take my blinky glasses off because I was going to almost have a seizure
It's a
here.
little hard to see.
It's a little hard to see, but Happy New Year, everybody. We welcome you. It seems crazy to say that this is Season 2 in a new year. 2021 is gone, but what a great year it's been for us. Just a lot of exciting things in our world of podcasting. And last year, this time, we were spending a lot of time at the Kala Coffee House,
Yes.
Remember?
Yes.
So day in and day out, we were making plans, we were learning about podcasts, we were dreaming about how to put all this on, and we were creating plans for this show. And today in House and Home Chat, we're going back and looking at that year in review.
And know that later on in Real Talk, we are going to focus on real estate. We're going to talk about highlighting organization for your home. It's a little different than the tips that we've had throughout the year in terms of design and staging, etc. But just as important, if not sometimes even more important than that.
Yeah, I agree. And then getting back to our year in review, our original goals for our podcast were to focus on small businesses with our community. Mm-hmm. We wanted to bring about this sense of community, highlight these small businesses, and share them with you, with our listeners. So we've been bringing these experts on our show, shouting out their businesses and providing all kinds of beneficial information to our listeners, whether you plan on staying in your home for a really long time or whether you're planning on moving in the near future. We've hopefully brought you some great information.
That whole concept of community is extremely important to both Dena and I. And to us, our home is not just the physical home that we live in, but the community around us, whether that be the physical community or the social community. And it reminds me of the show we had with Manny Pertakakis in Northside. Northside, oh my gosh, Mandy, thank you for having us in your home. What a great community,
that was
right?
A great show, and her home was so amazing.
It was
too.
just beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, and Northside really is that urban feel and yet a neighborhood. Dena and I had the opportunity to walk around and see the houses with the porches and the parks and the walkable city with restaurants like the Tickle Pickle and the Sidewinder and services and salons. And did I mention a bunch of little shops? It was just what a fun area.
It is a fun area, really eclectic area. And don't forget about the 4th of July parade every year and the Halloween decorations. They go all out, have all sorts of Halloween decorating contests, right?
And I was showing homes in that area during the month of October. Yeah. And so it was really fun to experience that.
Yeah, definitely. But tracking back to this time last year and sitting in the Kala Coffee House, and we were, again, just dreaming about how to put this podcast together, researching all kinds of research that we did, and we were always drinking great coffee, right, at the Kala Coffee House. We were so honored to share Jackie and Roger Wilson's story and talk to them about their leap of faith. From their retirement years into business ownership. So it was really kind of a fun story about how they retired and they went back into business by taking their leap of faith, and how this incredible journey impacted our community. And Chris, do you remember what their tagline is?
I do, because it really stuck with me and kind of helps with our purpose of our show. And it's a good cup with good company for a good cause.
Exactly. So there are a lot of great causes that the Kala Coffee House really helps to support with with the focus on kids. And the great thing about the Kala too is that the all the money and everything stays local. So it's all about helping kids within Warren County. All the charity money stays local to the community, and kind of cool too if you go back and listen to their stories, which were pretty amazing.
Yes.
They use all local ingredients, and I mean everything that they do is really about keeping things
supporting the community
within our community. So they really embody, I think, everything that we were looking to achieve or to share within our podcast as well. So it was a great place to begin, wasn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
I had to take my Happy New Year hat off, by the way.
But you are still blinking.
But I'm still blinking. Oh, I had to take them off. Oh my God, these things are crazy. But I love them. I love them. So, Chris, what's one that maybe resonated with you most? What do you think?
You know, I truly have learned from every person we have spoken with this year.
There's
I've taken some nuggets.
Some snippet, right?
And poor Dena, because you can tell when I get really quiet. Because when I get really quiet, I am listening so intently and trying to apply things to my house or my life. And so Amy Vetter just really had an impact on me in that concept of mindfulness.
I remember you had to stop mid-podcast there too and say, okay, I'm taking it all in.
Mindfulness has been presented to me in the past, and it was such a self-focused and self-centered concept as introduced to me.
Oh, that's interesting.
That I
Do you think about the way that it was introduced to you kind of made you feel that way?
It was, yes. And by more than one person, where mindfulness was, hey, focusing on me and the world's about me. And so Amy took it in the direction of really where I want to take my life. And that's how mindfulness is really the focus on others. And so, Amy, I try to practice every day the 3 steps you taught me. And the first is getting present. So even as I was driving over to Dena's today, right, I was in my car. Sometimes playing my favorite radio station, which for those of you who know me know I'm a Christian music groupie. Or it's totally silent. And as I turn off the car, I'm taking that moment, right? And taking those deep breaths, preparing for what's next in my life. And then step 2 is accepting others in the present.
That's a good one.
Yes, not stepping into any situation with a preconceived notion or plan for how that conversation's going to go. Really just focusing on what's going to happen with them in the present.
That's a good one, because how many times, I mean, you think through how you want the conversation to go in your head, and when it doesn't, manifest itself that way, then you're not happy.
Right.
Right.
And I'm always reminded we have 2 ears and 1 mouth.
Good.
I don't practice. I would love to practice that more. And then the third step, and I think it's really hard to do this all the time, is to treat people with compassion, to see life from their perspective, not just mine. And so really being that other focused, which my personal goal, that's the person I want to be.
Yeah, those are really great concepts to go back on and to review and to really kind of bring into a new year, a new resolution as well. I mean, they're so easy, but yet so hard. I mean, they seem like simple concepts, right?
Exactly.
But in practice, they are not. They're really difficult.
And even in real estate, I'm going to tie it back to real estate for a second, because when one of my clients asked me what I think of a house, I'm never thinking it in terms of what I like or dislike. It's always what have they shared with me and what is their perspective. So, it might be a backyard that I would hate to mow. I would hate an open 5 acres where I have to mow the lawn, right? But if that's what my client is looking for, then perhaps a house is perfect for them.
Right, exactly. So it's taking that other person's situation into full perspective, isn't it? And I'll tell you, Amy says it only takes 2 minutes to reset your central nervous system. And, we all have 2 minutes to spare. So it's just about making that resolution to do it. And it can definitely change the outcome and the experiences that you have. So I love that. I think that would probably be one of my top ones as well.
It was just a life game changer.
Yeah, it was a good one. We also learned some great tips from Sylvia Rhombus at ADC Fine Art about selecting art for your home that brings you joy. That was a really fun topic. And I won't forget this one. Sylvia says, always buy what you love. So the bottom line is you can regroup, you can repurpose, you can bring new life to existing collectibles and artwork that you have, but buy what you love. So whether you're staying or whether you think that you might be planning to go, don't buy art that fits the space, buy art that fits you. Right? Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
And talk about joy. Thanks to Nancy Grove for joining us. Nancy's an influencer and a decorator at Hydrangea Home Decor. And she taught us, do what you love and sparks joy in your life. And she lives that. Nancy's a good friend of mine. She lives that every day.
She's just like, her house was dynamic.
Oh, yeah.
And I do remember that she stressed to us, be authentic to yourself and to your own personal style. And she also did, tie in a lot of the things that Sylvia said about repurposing and regrouping to curate a whole new look. So, I think if you don't have the ability to do that, hiring these professionals in Sylvia and in Nancy to do that for you, really, sometimes it's just about taking what you have and regrouping it and repurposing it. So I really love that.
Make it work for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally different concept. It is January. It's in the 40s. It's going to drop down to the 20s and single digits over the next couple days.
It is.
Thanks, John Apke of Apke Total Restoration, because we should all know that everybody should be outside, making sure your hoses are not connected to any of your spigots outside.
Yeah.
And if it goes down to single digits, open up those cabinet doors to wherever you have a sink and let that warm air circulate. Rob?
Yeah, I gotta give a shout out to Rob. Chris said it. You're right. And I will follow in suit when you open up those cabinet doors and know that you're doing the right thing, honey. So shout out there to John Apke for helping us through that, right? So maybe as the new year, though, we're ringing it in. We've had a lot of parties in our homes here or entertained family and friends. Maybe we're dreaming of new construction.
Yes.
Maybe you're like,
that's a good dream.
This house is just too small. We need a bigger home to entertain.
Or smaller.
Or maybe we need to downsize here because the kids are grown and have left the nest and whatnot. So maybe new construction is on the horizon here. And Chris and I are here to help you explore any of those new construction needs. But we learned a lot from Heather Kuth, who is a consultant at Fisher Homes this year. She walked us through the process, the new construction process and how to do that with ease. And she also shared some great trends of 2021, which were large islands. So I love that. And also multiple home office workspaces for the entire family.
And that makes sense for the way we've lived our lives over the past couple of years. So, people are looking for that open concept living, and yet they need several private spaces for work and school. You may have two people working from home and all the kids home from school, and you need space for them to be able to do what they need to get done. We saw that patio homes are also very popular, big trend.
Yep.
Dena, I don't know if you're seeing this, but I'm even seeing attached patio homes. So where two patio homes are connected, making even better use of space.
Yeah, the patio home concept where you don't have to spend your weekends doing lawn work and
Correct.
doing yard work. And it's just more about enjoyment of your time with your family rather than having to mulch, weed, mow, and all
that stuff.
So that's where the popularity of Patio Homes is really coming in.
Yeah. We look forward to having Heather back this year so that she can share with us those building trends for 2022.
Yeah, can't wait. So what about the color of the year this year? We learned about that, right?
Yes, and we can see it behind us a little bit. Dena was so on trend in 2021
That's right. I tried.
by using the paint of the year by Sherwin-Williams, the Urban Bronze. And so, Dena, in 2022, are you going to be adding some of those Tiffany blue greens or Bears is a sea glass green that will be 2022's color?
Well, there's always room for adding new color and, thinking about painting a couple of other areas of the house, working on the basement next, I think.
So maybe that's where we'll see it show up.
At my house next time. Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks to Amy Stigney for guiding us with your expertise on color and home design.
Yeah. And Amy just had so many nuggets and great tips to share. Too many to list today. So we welcome our listeners to go back to that episode with Amy titled Designing to Stay or Designing to Sell and really pull out some of those nuggets that Amy had to share. But let's not forget about our CEO of Gratitude.
Yes.
Yeah, one of my personal favorites also, Rachel DeRochers, who taught us about the most important tool that we have in our toolbox. She says it's just to simply show up.
Yeah, so, what a good start.
Yeah, I love that. She says to show up and make the world a better place by leading everything that you do with gratitude. So we loved having you on our program. And we loved everything that she shared with us on that episode.
And remember that Amy's Women's Empowerment Summit, Power to Pursue, is coming in May right here in the local Cincinnati area.
Exactly. So there are so many local businesses, what we really had the honor to highlight in our podcast this year. And our goal, again, is to bring our community to you, sharing what they do, how you can benefit as a homeowner by a lot of the businesses right here in your own backyard, and how you can benefit by living your best life in your home, or if you're a homeowner that's looking to move, to find a new place that you call
always
home.
Two different ways to look at it.
Yeah, exactly.
So here's a review of our 2021 business shout-outs.
Okay.
Kala Coffee House. And by the way, did we mention that they have retired and turned it over? So, my gosh, how beautiful still.
Yeah, I just noticed that I think they spent Christmas in Hawaii.
Did they really? Go Jackie and Roger.
Yeah, Jackie and Roger.
As you should finally relax and do that.
But the Kala Coffee House continues to.
And they are open today.
Yep.
So go get coffee with the cold outside.
Exactly.
ADC Fine Art. And by the way, they are now located in just one location at 1013 York Street in the West End. District Yoga Studio, which we know Dena does classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Dave Scully of Ruoff Mortgage. Nancy Groh, Hydrangea House Decor. Can't forget Heather Kuth of Fisher Homes. Ashley Arnold of Aquatech Pools. And what I find is so fun, the last time I closed of the year, just closed December 30th, the reason that my buyer wanted the home was because it had a pool. And I have another buyer that if we find the home, maybe a home, and it has the pool, that will be the icing on the cake. So, love that I had gained that firsthand knowledge a little bit better.
It's funny how pools have totally changed. And Ashley called it, she said that since the pandemic, so many more people want a pool, and that wait list is like a year out. So you better call now.
Call now. Get them working on it.
Exactly.
Hey, talk about community. The Panegyri Greek Festival, that will be happening again this year. So look out for that.
In June, everybody.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Oh, Lindsay McLaughlin of optimized senior living. Oh, what an experience that was. What a great concept.
Yeah, great concept. Several locations throughout the greater Cincinnati area. In South Dayton, I think they have a location as well. So really, really check that out. We also had DJ sessions from Guaranteed Rate Affinity. We've been following the market, talking to some mortgage lenders, and we'll continue to do that here in the new year as well. There was Tom Capuano from Pillar to Post Home Inspections, really important to our business and to our buyers.
And what a delight.
Yeah, he's so
just
fun.
Just delight is the word I have.
We love Tom. He always keeps us laughing. And speaking of laughing, were you laughing when I put these like on my head and you were trying to like be serious? And I had them.
I was like, I can't get mine to stay on my head.
I've got the blinkies on my head here, so yeah, you'll have to switch to the YouTube to get the full effect, right? So anyway, where was I? Tom Capuano, we gave him a shout out. So all the small businesses in Northside, right? So we love to highlight communities. We've done several highlights of communities throughout the year in our Real Talk session of our program. And the Northside community is one of them. So we love them. Rick Wilson of Residential Title does some really important behind the scenes work for us, right? And Kristen Fox, the Hangout Group, that was a really good one.
Yeah, and again, stressing that importance of community.
Yeah.
And community is not just that physical area, right? This is a social community and very well needed.
Exactly, a really wonderful niched social group. There was Terry Brinkman with Terry's Cards and Gifts. We had a lot of fun visiting with Terry. She's got great gifts and unique gift giving ideas. Not
and
just
Valentine's
for the holidays.
Day is coming.
Exactly, not just for the holidays, but any time of year. So you'll find something
graduation
cool and different and unique for every occasion. Graduation, Valentine's Day. I'm sure St. Patrick's Day. She's got it all. There was John Apke of Apke Total Restoration. So for all your carpet cleaning needs now post holidays, give John a call as you're, cleaning out your house here for the new year. And hopefully you don't need any restoration needs. But if you do, he's your guy, right? And then finally, we have Amy Ostigny of Designing with Amy, where we learned all kinds of really cool decorating design trends for the new year.
And last but not least, we got to remember Rachel DeRochers.
And Rachel DeRochers.
Of the Gratitude Collective.
Yes, Rachel DeRochers of the Gratitude Collective.
So looking forward to 2022, Dena and I have some great shows planned, but we are always open to new ideas. So if you have an idea for a topic or a small business that we should have on the show, or if you are a small business
and you would
like to join us for our podcast, we'd love to have you. You can reach out to us at denachristrealtalk@gmail.com.
And we can't let an episode go by without providing some real estate tips on either the current market conditions, which we still tend to be on the same trend here with the low inventory, though that is seasonal and things are definitely start to pick up here after the first of the year.
Yes, we need it to pick up.
Yeah.
I look at how many homes are active in the Mason School District every day. There were 10 today.
Yeah, that's not many.
That's not many. And it doesn't include new construction, but less than 10 is not very many homes.
So today in Real Estate Real Talk, we're gonna talk a little bit about organization.
Yes.
And we've talked about organization in the past in terms of staging your home, but you can, you don't have to just be staging to be organizing. It's a new year, and that always tends to be, I think, one of the big resolutions that people have. They're going to get more organized and be accomplished in that organizational category. So we're going to look at that.
Clean and organize are two totally different concepts, right? Your home might be spotless, but it may not be, it may be disorganized, and disorganization really is a waste of time. Did you know that for every hour we spend on organization, it'll save us 3 to 4 hours this year?
No, I didn't know that.
And if you think of it, if you spend 5 minutes and you organize that junk drawer, right, so that the scissors always go in the same spot,
you know where to
that is
go,
going to save you each time you go to reach the scissors. You're not going through that drawer. You just go, you get it, you put them back. So taking that little bit of pain is going to help you throughout the year.
That's a great point, because we all talk about not having enough time, not having enough time, not having enough time. So if you just set aside that time up front, get yourself organized, look at all the time you'll save. Right?
I know. So here are 5 organizational mistakes.
Okay.
And how you can learn from them.
I think, one of the things that people do is, creating an entryway or creating an entry into your space that is just not functional.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's your front door, whether that's coming in the garage door, whether that's your back door, whatever way that it is that you come into your home, sometimes people try to pretty up the space without, and you can make it beautiful, but you can also make it organized. So what does, what do you need at that front door? Maybe, instead of, maybe the coat closet isn't there in the entryway, and it's somewhere else, like in the laundry room of the house, just providing a coat rack there. Right. Would help with that. So
otherwise the coats are on the floor.
Exactly. So thinking through how you need that space, how you use that space, where do the purses go, where do the keys go, where do the backpacks go, where do those things go, and creating a space for everything, and everything in its place, right?
That is so true. And for people like me, we keep calling me the minimalist. It's a hard thing to do. And I love traffic flow and open spaces. So it took me years before I did an entrance table at the door coming in from the garage. But we love it now because, right, every time you're going to walk out the door and you're putting on your shoes, or you have to put your keys down, and I'm okay with the keys being on that table now. It, again, took a long time, but it just makes life convenient, and it really does save time.
Yeah, and it's human nature. I mean, as we come in, we want to dump our things, and having a place for that dumping, quote unquote, to take place, especially if you have a lot of, multiple children or a lot of family members, just having a place for everybody to put their things will help organize it.
Now, this will surprise you all, but we can have things too clear. Like our kitchen counters.
You can have things too clear? Are you kidding me?
Who would think, right? But
whatever do you mean by that?
So when I was learning about this concept, right, I thought of my coffee station, and coffee stations are really popular right now in both kitchens and primary bedrooms.
A little coffee bar, right?
A little coffee bar. It's a trend, but it makes sense. So we do have our 2 coffee makers, because I have my little Cuisinart that makes a pot every day. Tom has his one that does the little K-cup things. But we've got it right there on the counter. I'll be honest, if you open the cupboard above my coffee maker, that's where I actually have my coffee. But I'm not going to the pantry to get coffee every day. It's just right there. My coffee maker's out. We use it every day.
Yeah, that's a great point, is, clearing your countertops of everything that you need also is a time waster, because you're going to have to go through things, through pantries, through drawers, through cabinets to get the things out that you need day in and day out. So I think that's the bottom line there is, keeping the things out and accessible to you that you do use day in and day out. And if you don't use a mixer every day, don't keep that mixer on the counter.
It just gathers dust.
Right. If you don't juice every day, then don't keep the juicer out. I mean, but by all means, if you do, then you should keep those things out, keep them accessible, and keep them handy. Like your coffee, right?
Save that time.
Right. Number 3, I think using the refrigerator as a collection site in the message board is a mistake. It's a no-no. Nobody, you think that you're going to remember to go to the refrigerator to look at that list, but eventually you just look past that list because there's too much clutter and it's filled with magnets and notes and too many notes, and you don't know what's what anymore, and it's not really highlighting anything anymore. It just looks like a mess.
Start by taking up all of those calendars from other real estate agents. Throw them in your garbage. If you need something, ask us.
We'll send you ours. Look, I have to put my 2022. I keep playing with my little.
Yours is blinking much faster than. Yeah. Now mine's blinking fast.
There you go.
So a concept that I just love that is good for organization and time saving is the mistake is not using labels. So in my ideal world,
I love labels.
I would label everything. And I've got a couple of areas that I do, right? Our laundry room, we have bins on the shelves in our laundry room, and I have those all labeled. Our arts and crafts supplies that are in the basement are actually in photo boxes, and each one of them is labeled. So as I find crayons laying around somewhere, they just go right in the crayon box, and I don't have to think about it.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's absolutely 100% the way that everyone should go. You think that you're going to remember, you might get those bins and you might have them nicely organized and they look good, and you think you're going to remember what's in, all 10 of them or 20 of them, but you're not. And then you're going to make a mess looking for it. Taking it down. It's not in there. You go through the whole bin. Where is it? You can't remember which bin you put it in or which basket you put it in. And even though it looks pretty, it's going to it's just going to clutter things up.
If it wasn't labeled, I'd be throwing colored pencils in the crayon bin.
Yeah.
And then having to sort through them all.
Oh my gosh. Exactly. So last but not least, our fifth organizational mistake is what we call a shopping first and organizing second. So a lot of people think that that's kind of the way that you do things. You buy things or you buy organizational things and then you find a home for them. But really the best thing to do is to organize your space, organize that pantry, or organize the coat closet, or organize, whatever junk drawer you have in your home, and then buy the things that you need, because you're going to have so much stuff in trying to fit it into a space that just doesn't perhaps work or doesn't perhaps fit. So really you should do the reverse of that.
And you'll find maybe you don't even need them, right? We did our closet this year. I have room for X number of shoes. And I'll tell you, there's a couple of shoes that I never brought back in. And why? Because they just don't need to be there.
Exactly.
And then, of course, I have to throw a pair of shoes out in order to get a pair of new shoes or whatever. But I don't need that many anyway. So love that. Organize first, shop second.
There you have it, everybody. The top 5 organizational mistakes.
Look at Dena getting ready to celebrate.
I know. We're going to pop some champagne here, Chris.
Love it. So really, this has been our show for today, the highlights of 2021. Remember, you can go back and see any of our episodes on wherever you find your podcasts or on YouTube. So you can go back. Remember, for our small businesses, almost all of them have a Facebook page or a website. Be sure to go back and visit them and make that connection and help support them. And here's to 2022.
Here's to 2022.
Let me glow. Am I only
all the businesses that we have shouted out to over the years.
And
here's to our successful podcast.
And to Dena Mathis.
And to Chris Breinbach. To us.
To us.
Cheers,
and to
everybody.
you.
And to you. Happy New Year, everybody.